All right. Well, hey, everybody. Today, I figured I'd do a little video because I did a lot of testing over the last few months. I even made an alternate account. And we're going to talk about the wonderful subject that is matchmaking. Everybody loves matchmaking in this game. I have found out a bunch of stuff, and a lot of the disparities between some of the matches we get happen for several reasons. But one of the main reasons, the main variable that Plarium uses to matchmake you against other players and bots is they take your strongest mech. You might have 5 mechs in your hangar, but they're going to take the highest mech. Let's see which one's my highest. 867, 295. Okay, so my highest mech right now in my hangar is 881. They take the strongest mech in your hangar and they will times it by the amount of open slots you have in your hangar. So if you have everything unlocked, yeah, I shouldn't say open, unlocked. So if you have 5 of your slots unlocked, the only mech they're going to consider is your 881 power Panther here. And they times that by 5. So 881 times 5, because you have 5 unlocked spots, is 4.4K. So my hangar as it sits right here has a matchmaking power, mainly right off the top, of 4.4K. So technically, I should be getting sometimes matches against players that are 5.5, on the high side, from or my level and up. But I shouldn't be in games much higher than playing against players that are higher than 5.4, 5.5. That's how Plarium has the algorithm set up to be. And that's your main variable. So my matchmaking power is not my hangar power, which is 4K. My matchmaking power is 4.4. So when you're building your hangar, you need to take note of this. And I'm going to show you something here that causes some problems. I'm going to put another weapon on my Panther. So guess what happens? I only did that. So now my strongest mech, is 1.2K. Times that by 5, and what do you get? Almost 6K, right? So now my matchmaking power is almost 6K. So technically, I can be matched with players almost 7K. But I'm only in a 4K hangar, 4.3K hangar. So that's the main problem. So what you do is you got to build your hangars evenly. You don't want your highest mech to be much more than 200 power than your other mechs, and that's the problem people have. And I'm going to show you on my alt, because I only have 3 mech hangar on my alt, and I'll show you how that works. My latest matches on this account, here are the power levels of the players. So, yeah, 6.7. So you're going to have a lot of crappy games. But you can minimize that by watching and being careful and leery. So although I can fit another weapon on my Panther, I got to take it off. Okay? Look at just one weapon, boom. Now I have a more reasonable matchmaking situation. I play with players are the same way. Their Panthers are a little bit higher energy, but we can't use them, or we can only use one weapon on them because it just places us into such a higher tier bracket. It's crazy. The other problem you have is pilots and implants. So here's my Panther. My Panther is 378 power out of a total of the 881. The pilot is 300 power. So just the pilot alone is adding 300 power. And if you have 5 unlocked slots, just that pilot is adding 1.5k to my power rating for matchmaking. I'm going to play around with the pilots, and I have on my alt, and because for EMs, you don't need this legend. You don't need all this if you're using EMs. You know, I have legendary implants, legendary pilot. And if you're using EMs, you don't really need all that extra boost to EMs. So you can also adjust your power and matchmaking more fairly by taking a look at your pilot and the implants. But just the pilot alone on this mech is 300 power. What happens on pilot power? When you add certain weapons, more weapons, legendary weapons, I'll add an EM back onto the Panther. Now, my Panther power stays the same. You see that? But now look at my power rating. The pilot now is 465 power. Just the pilot alone on this mech is giving me an extra 2k matchmaking power. These are the things that really create an issue with matchmaking and is the main problem. Now, the algorithm Plarium uses, unfortunately, is a necessary algorithm. I kind of agree with it. But you have to know these things to avoid having ridiculously unfair matches. So right now, the only main problem I have with Plarium is that they also put in their algorithm for matchmaking a win percentage or a win streak. Plarium thinks that everyone should be 50% win rate. So what they do is, if you're on a win streak, I don't know if they compare win streak or they go by win percentage rate, but after a while, they will match you against harder mechs, stronger mechs, just because you're winning. It's the only game I've ever played in my life that says, well, John, you win too many games. We need to make sure you lose more. That's not the concept of playing games. We play them to win, to have fun, and blah, 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 not the 50% win rate. So on this account, I have 5 mechs unlocked. And that is the main thing to concern yourselves with when it comes to matchmaking. Now, I'm going to go to my alt. Okay, so here's my alt. Now, on purpose, I've left this account for about over 2 months when I started it, 3 months, as a 3-mech hanger. Because why do I do that? Because, again, matchmaking is based on the amount of unlocked slots in your hanger. Even if you don't put mechs in your hanger, if your slot is unlocked, the game still counts that. So on this hanger, my highest mech is 869. So this mech is just as powerful as my main account Panther, right? But my matchmaking power is only going to be this number, 869 times 3 now. So 869 times 3 is 2.6. So you see how I built this hanger? So my hanger, oh, no, that sucks. Oh, there we go. My hanger is 2.3 power, but my actual matchmaking power is 2.6. So I'm right on the money. This is where you want to be, because then your matches are going to look like this. Now you have all your mechs that are capable of playing against higher players when you get bad matchmaking. So here's my list of the matches I've played. Really, you're not really nothing higher than 3.2. Okay, so I have a 3 mech hanger. I have 3 very good mechs now. I upgraded. I only focused on 3 mechs. Why would you unlock a slot in your hanger if you don't have an appropriate mech to put that in? So if I only have a 12 energy mech, it ain't going to do me any good against 3 4K players. Now, obviously these mechs are good. I know, I'm a decent player. I played the game for a while, so I know what mechs to use. But the matchmaking is much more fair on this account than when you start unlocking more slots, because then your highest mech is increased. Your match, it's another um, slot that the game's going to count as you having your highest mech in it. And my win rate, I'm not flexing, but I just want to show you the difference in matchmaking. And how you build your hanger is very important in this game. Otherwise, you're going to have some problems with the way they do matchmaking. Keep your mech to 3 mechs, your hanger to 3 mechs, until you have until you have another appropriate mech. Then unlock the more slots. But if you have 1 strong mech and 3 or 4 weak mechs, you're going to have a problem winning games because you only have 1 mech then that can fight against a 4K player. But I actually have 3 mechs that can fight against any hanger that's 3K per se. And when I'm ready to unlock another spot, because I have a mech that I can take to 16 energy and make it similar to the power of the mechs I have in my hanger. People are building their hangers at the early game they unlock all their slots, and all they're doing is feed killing players like me, or because of matchmaking. You're just feeding kills. Keep your mech at 3 when you start the game, early game, going into mid game. Then unlock your 4 spot when you have a mech that's upgraded high enough to match or be close to what your highest mech is. Then you'll have multiple mechs that can compete at a higher level. And you're going to increase your win rate because you're not going to be overwhelmed just because of the stronger mechs. This account, okay, so 1,800 games on this account, and you can see my win rate is around 91%. Now, obviously, I'm a decent player, but obviously the mechs have a lot to do with that too. I know which mechs to get. I know what weapons to get. So those are videos that will come down the road when I do the noob series. But for now, that's how matchmaking works. And you're going to have a much more enjoyable playing experience if you build your hangers like this. And I've tested this for 2 months now. Period. 100%. If you listen to what I just told you, you will not have many games where you're overmatched by a ridiculous amount of power. All right, guys, enjoy the game. We all got to face those tougher matches sometimes, but overall, you can have a very, very good win rate even with the crappy matchmaking in this game. Have a good one.